About to show you one of the most dangerous people on planet Earth, and this man used to be a police officer in California. Now meet this man right here. His name is Joseph James D'Angelo. He raped at least 50 women and he unalived at least 13 people that we know of. Now this man was a police officer from 1973 to 1979, and he raped a lot of women while he was a police officer, and he unalived people while he was a police officer. Now let me give you a little context about Joseph James D'Angelo. This man was married. He got married in 1973 when he first became a police officer. This man was born in New York, and he also had 3 kids, and he got fired from his job from being a police officer in 1979 for shoplifting. Now, after this man got fired from being a police officer, he never stopped raping women and unaliving people. This man was a very evil person. Now, you may be thinking, oh my God, this is horrible. How is this man getting away with raping all of these women and unaliving all of these people? Well, people, he was a police officer. People trust this man. This man will always cherry pick neighborhoods and ride through the neighborhoods in his police car looking for single.
Everyone is wearing that little blue bracelet now. You know the one I'm talking about. This one, the evil eye. And of course they tell you it's made to protect you from jealousy, bad vibes, and spiritual attacks, but here's the truth. That thing isn't going to protect you from anything. And by you actually wearing it, what you're doing is actually agreeing to the spiritual attacks that that symbol comes with. The evil eye comes from ancient occult rituals and beliefs that believe that if someone stared at you with envy, that they could curse you. So then, of course, they made these charms and amulets to protect themselves from the spirits that they believed could curse them. But the Bible warns us not to put our trust in charms and amulets. That's witchcraft, and it's said there right in Ezekiel. People wearing this bracelet are basically saying, this can protect me more than God can, and that is idolatry. So go ahead and throw that thing away, especially if you're a Christian. Pray Psalms 91 over your life, because that is some true protection right there. The word of God. Conviction over comfort. Follow me if you're into that. Shalom.
Don't y'all know a lot of stuff that we see in these movies, a lot of these horror films, you know, the movie Fallen. Recall the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington, when this spirit called Azazel would go around and he could transfer from person to person and touch different people. Many people might think that that's a fantasy or that's fiction. No, you have demonic spirits. They might not even be demonic, whatever you want to call it. They are evil spirits that have the ability to transfer around. And Hollywood and a lot of these elites know this. They put it in a lot of movies. They put it in a lot of commercials. But we don't pay attention. We look at movies and we look at sitcoms and we look at shows and we look at them as entertainment. But a lot of these shows and a lot of these movies be sending real life messages that there are aliens, there are extraterrestrials on this planet. You think a lot of times when they show these alien movies that they're showing them because they just want to entertain you. They're showing these movies because they want to prepare you for stuff. They want to prepare you for these extraterrestrials that they know are living on these planets. And when I say extraterrestrials, I mean other beings. If you think for one moment that we're the only beings living on this planet, then you're sadly mistaken. But my point is, a lot of stuff are put in movies. A lot of stuff that we think is just for entertainment is put in movies. And I'm going to tell you, there are demonic spirits all around us that we cannot see. There's a spiritual world that if you even get close to certain people, they don't even have to touch you. They can transfer their spirit into you. So be very careful and be very observant and be very wise when you're watching these movies and you're watching these shows. And don't think, I can go through many shows and tell you how true they are in real life. And I'm sure many people can do the same. So just be careful, man, because evil spirits do live and they do transfer into people, and they put it all in movies, and Hollywood damn well know it.
But we want to warn you now that some things you're about to see and hear might be too graphic for children.
Well, Terry, authorities tell us that the most serious or perhaps the most dangerous kind of devil worship comes in the form of underground cults. Most of them are very secretive, usually organizing clandestine rituals in the dark of night.
Guys, what she's talking about here is the McMartin preschool incident. If you don't know about that, I fully suggest you go and look into that. And all I'm going to say on that is, how can hundreds of children all have similar accounts and collections? I'll leave that one for you to look into. What I want to say is, this is a very old video clip. And with everything that's coming out recently, it is just, if not more, relevant than ever. And it proves as another example of how long this stuff has been going on. Realistically, since the start of civilization, from the Old Testament. And as I always say, we need to stay vigilant because demons walk amongst us.
This is the most evil generation since the inception of man. Worse than the flood, worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. And I think part of that has to do with the fact that we can instantly communicate with everybody around the world, and we are propagating sin in a way we never used to. If you wanted to have a sexual sin, you had to go do it with somebody. But now we can just open a phone and do things on the phone. And Los Angeles is #1 exporter of pornography to the whole world. We should be not only ashamed of that statistic as Americans, but fearful for the kind of things that they're opening up to the country with that kind of filth with the demonic world. And then you look at the rest of Hollywood. I just saw Nicole Kidman has a new movie coming out who alleges to be Catholic. They almost gave it an X rating. In our day and age, imagine that. So they had to cut stuff to get it down to R. But she has a preoccupation. It's having an affair, but also preoccupation with animals. So we're going to a whole new level. And this is a mainstream film.
Wait, everything we've been told was a lie. Because what Matthew McConaughey just did, risked his whole career to expose this truth about what really happens in Hollywood that we have no idea about. Now look, 99% of you won't be able to stomach this, but knowing that, I still have to show you. Look, Matthew's one of those celebrities where he stays himself through and through regardless of how many awards he achieves, how many Oscars he gets. And most people look at him as a normal human being. But everything changed when he went on Joe Rogan's podcast, where Joe Rogan asked him about his religious belief. But what he shared completely shocked the world, because the answer he gave just completely dismantled an organization we all look up to. And now people are asking themselves, what's going to happen to Matthew once he's forced to face the repercussions of what he said because of what he leaked? I mean, it's just bad. Take a look at this.
But I have had moments where I was on stage receiving an award in front of my peers in Hollywood. There were people in the crowd that I have prayed with before dinners many times. And when I thank God, I saw some of those people go to clap, but then notice that whoa, it's a big bad thing on my resume, and then sit back on their hands. I've seen people read the room and go, whoa, that wouldn't bode well for me in the future.
Do you believe that we can speak to the dead?
No.
You don't believe that?
No.
So when people...
Well, I should preface that. It depends what you mean by speaking to the dead. I think it's possible. We have examples of it in the Bible. Saul gets a medium to call up the spirit of Samuel.
So do you believe mediums are telling the truth when they say that they're contacting people in the afterlife?
I think that there's a possibility of engaging the supernatural world, which is dangerous. And I think there's a very fuzzy line between mediums who are con artists and people who are actually engaged in something that is dabbling in the supernatural.
Gather round, children. Believe me, I needed that breath. You remember that video I said was the biggest video I ever done? I thought I was nervous then. This absolutely dwarfs that. Fuck it, let's do it. Now we've danced around the fact that they're hiding. And I've pointed out what they've hidden. Now it's time to look at the how and the why. For the 1900s, healing was diverse. Herbalism, naturopathy, homeopathy, hydrotherapy, chiropractic, sound energy vibrational therapy. These were all widely practiced. Clinics used violet ray machines, magnetism, and frequency devices to treat. Pain, circulation, mental health, all were treated with these devices. Community medicine was diverse and decentralized. Many local healers and midwives had schools teaching different approaches and practices to medicine. Healthcare was pluralistic and patient-centered. Then the 1900s came. From 1906 to 1911, progressive reformers and the Supreme Court targeted John D. Rockefeller and his company Standard Oil, claiming that it was a monopoly, which it was. Rockefeller at the time owned 90% of the oil in this country. In 1911, under the antitrust laws, the Supreme Court ruled Standard Oil and ordered it to be broken up into 34 different companies. These companies are still there today. Exxon, Chevron, Marathon. You see, this pissed Rockefeller off supremely, and he vowed to take back all that was. That is real. He vowed to take it back. That's not bullshit. See, then Rockefeller pulled a book out of the Roman Empire playbook. You see, the Roman Empire never died. It became a church. Standard Oil didn't die. It became a pharmaceutical. Rockefeller reinvented his empire by reinvesting in petrochemicals. See, oil byproducts could be used to manufacture pharmaceuticals. Gave him a new monopoly opportunity. And it's a good thing for the guy who has more money than he knows what to do with, and on top of that, ran the biggest oil business in the world. This is right up his alley. So Rockefeller pivoted. He had a strategy. And it's quite simple. Control medicine by funding education and institutions that backed allopathic medicine, petrochemical drug-based medicine. You see, this isn't a strategy, it's a business plan. That's what this says. Eliminate the competition. Naturopathy, homeopathy, vibrational medicine, all are the competition. So in 1910, the Rockefeller and Carnegie Foundations enlisted the help of a man named Abraham Flexner. This is the Flexner Report. Flexner went around to various medical schools and basically studied what they're teaching. Scope out the competition. The Flexner Report was then published stating that naturopathy, homeopathy, chiropractic, electrotherapy, and midwifery as quackery. It labeled it as quack. Because of this, 100 plus medical schools closed, especially ones that dealt in sound vibrational medicine or any of the aforementioned. Specifically, black and women's medical schools were especially targeted. Only schools teaching allopathic drug-based medicine were. Medicine then became centralized, standardized, and profitable, built around pharmaceutical manufacturing, which was in oil. Between the 1920s and 1940s, we saw suppression in sound and electrotherapy. Tesla's oscillating devices and frequency were used to treat depression and insomnia. Violet ray and early PEMF devices were very common. They showed remarkable results in pain relief and mental health. The AMA, which was heavily influenced by the Rockefeller Foundation, declared all of this unscientific. The FDA then cracks down, seizing equipment, destroying research, and finding practitioners. Vibration and frequency therapy was completely pushed out of. Just as pharmaceuticals started to rise. Gee, imagine that. Hey, you know what didn't rise? The Yamato. Because it's a coral reef. Between 1930 and 1950, nutrition was erased. Dr. Max Gerson invented a nutrition and detox therapy. It reversed cancers and chronic illness in patients. It was marginalized and dismissed as non-scientific. In the 1950s, nutrition was nearly eliminated from all medical education. Even today, doctors receive about 20 hours of nutritional training in medical school. You see, the chemical-based model left no room for any of this. From 1940 to 1960, tobacco companies ran ads. Doctors at that time endorsed the use of cigarettes. There's a slogan from back then. I don't remember what it's from, but the slogan was, "Not a cough in the carload." No bullshit, that's a real advertisement. They completely ignored the harmful effects. The AMA then called chiropractors unscientific. That was until 1987 when the federal antitrust ruling forced them to stop. Pharmaceutical ads flooded TV. This conditioned the public to trust drugs. Effectively, this was a psyop. Alternative healers faced harassment, raids, and licensure revocation. This caused chronic illness rates to soar. Round face history, dude! What up, buddy? This is mind-boggling. Yeah, it is. Has this gotten any better today? Nope. Cancer, diabetes, autoimmune conditions, Alzheimer's, dementia, depression, they're at an all-time high. Because of social media, there's a resurgence in sound and vibrational therapy. 40 hertz gamma therapy is shown to reduce Alzheimer's. Solfeggio frequencies are studied for relaxation, DNA repair, and emotional balance. Binaural beats is validated to reduce anxiety and improve focus. And all this is present in the music that I make and the therapy things that I'm doing on Patreon. It's got solfeggio frequencies, binaural beats, brainwave entertainment, golden ratio, Fibonacci sequences. These all go into these tracks to make something that's healing and fun to listen to. Insert shameless self-promotion here. Sorry, I had to. You see, what was once marked out as quackery and pseudoscience is now being validated by neuroscience and quantum biology. You see, when Standard Oil broke up, Rockefeller didn't lose power. He shifted it, pulling a play out of the Roman Empire's playbook. The Roman Empire never died, it became a church. The Standard Oil monopoly never died, it became a pharmaceuticals monopoly. It literally influenced medicine, and by extension, the health and wellness of generations. He monopolized healthcare, and he did it like a hostile takeover, eliminating the competition. The only thing left was allopathic medicine. Drugs. You see, a century later, the science that they were burying, the shit they were hiding, the things that ancient healers knew, is coming back to light. The body is energy, and when resonance is broken, so is health. I mean, this still scares the shit out of me. They effectively bought healthcare and gaslighted the country into using only their medicine. This is not health and wellness. A modernized medicine is a business plan. And with that being said, thanks for watching. Best way to support me is to like, comment, or share my videos. TikTok, historyteacher.com. Merch store, Discord, Vibe, PEMF device, Value Vibe, VNS device, and SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/AwakenHistoryTeacher. The Patreon is up and running, and the first long-length therapy track is up. I did something really cool. I actually paired it with like a protocol. So the actual track can actually be blended with essential oils, geology if you're into that. I actually paired it with both devices that I work with. So like there's a protocol in there for what program you're going to use on the Vibe at what part of the track. This way it's like a whole healing process. The first track, the one that I put up today, is free. You can go on Patreon and download it. If you want to join up and get more tracks, I'm going to release one daily, kind of like I do on here. And I made it as affordable as I can. It's only $15. And with that being said, be nice, be kind, be patient. Maybe the people that run the watch list that I'm on now will be nice, kind, and patient. Maybe they're fans.
What if the government had the ability to time travel? Well, they wouldn't be able to change anything. What do you mean? Why not? Well, let's think about this from a little bit of a different perspective really quick. Everything that you choose to do, everything that you choose to say, creates a new timeline where you could or could not say something, right? Okay, sure, I guess I follow, but what about it? Not all of those timelines are existing in physical reality, in third-dimensional reality. Oh, okay. So you mean that they would have the ability to navigate those possibilities without actually being able to manipulate them? Exactly. It would purely be reconnaissance. It would just be for information. They wouldn't actually be able to change anything. Although, it's possible that that changes in the future, and therefore changes in the past as well. But the more that they do, the more the timelines get all fucky-wucky. So they would actually try to mitigate the effect as much as possible. So they wouldn't even want to physically change any of the timelines. Exactly. And if they did try, it would kind of be a fool's errand. It probably wouldn't end well, and they would spend most of their time trying to fix it. But of course, if they did fix it, it would already have been fixed, so it doesn't really make a difference anyway, and the effect is neutralized across the board. So There are minimal changes because there isn't much that they can change without unexpected consequences. Huh. Alright. Thanks, man.
This is going to be really hard for me to talk about, so bear with me. It's finna get dark in here. We are going to talk about the dark history on why jails were created. In 1863, African American slaves were freed. They thought things were great, but they really just got backstabbed. Now, as you know, in 1861 and 1865, the American Civil War happened. During the Civil War, roughly 179,000 black men fought in the Civil War. They fought in the war because they thought America would look out for them, which ultimately made them worry because now how do we keep these people in control? The government needed a way to create peace, to keep the white people happy, but also take care of the African American citizens that just got freed. Before the 1890s, where they started the Prison Act, jails and prisons tend to look like houses. Some like this. After the American Civil War, the number of U.S. penitentiaries in the South and West spiked. So, who y'all finna put in there? After this, a lot of African Americans were locked up. Their inmates population surpassed 30,000. By 1880s, African Americans became the major inmates. They were backstabbed. You're telling me that they helped fight the war and then they were falsely imprisoned to do more labor? Convicts who were originally slaves dug levees, laid railroad tracks, picked cotton and mined coals for private companies and planters. Mostly false imprisonment or doing more time than they deserved. Innocent man locked up for 37 years. 1944, George Steeny, 14-year-old, electrocuted and he was innocent. We're still living in this dark history, and Joe Biden played a part in it. Your president signed a crime bill what was one of the key contributions to mass incarcerations in 1990s, especially hurting blacks and brown Americans. African Americans, they were never really freed. It just was switched. Black people were never given equality. Let's just clear that up. African Americans have been fighting for decades for equality from the government. Everybody be safe out there.
One of my dark shower thoughts is that we are being lied to about science. Like, Hollywood has already proven that it's corrupt. The conspiracy theorists were right once again. And I feel like the government had to confirm that for everybody to believe it. And I feel like science, what if that's the same way? Like, they've been lying about evolution, about space. We don't have a telescope. We don't have a spaceship. We don't have a particle collider to confirm what they're saying. And we just take it, you know, for face value. It's crazy. Like, it could all be a sham, and it wouldn't be surprising to me at all. Does NASA need to come out and confirm that they're lying? Does the government have to confirm that? And if they did, would you believe it? If the government said NASA is lying, would you then click? Because in that case, you're not thinking for yourself. You have no critical thinking if you need to be told that someone's lying by the person that's lying. Like, what handicap is this? What dystopian novel are we living in?
This dark theory about Willy Wonka will ruin your childhood. Do not watch if you love this film. So we all know Willy Wonka owns a chocolate factory and invites 5 lucky kids to visit the chocolate factory in a chance to win the ultimate prize. But what if I told you Willy Wonka is actually a serial killer? Throughout the film, he tests the kids in all different ways to see who's worthy enough to own the chocolate factory. So the theory is that Willy Wonka is actually a murderer and kills all these kids in like Saw-style traps. But this theory gets even weirder, right? So they say that Willy Wonka experienced something as a child which got him obsessed with traps. So what if he was actually Kevin McAllister from Home Alone? Do you believe this creepy theory?
I hope everybody knows by now that the fallen angels run our world. The earth is Satan's domain, and his fallen angels are at the top of the pyramid, if you will. Now, the book of Enoch, chapter 6, tells us that there were 200 of the leaders of these fallen angels. They met on Mount Hermon and they signed an agreement. At the very top of Mount Hermon, there's a building that says UN on the roof, but that's not for this video. Today we're going to talk about the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation. This is located in Kazakhstan, and it is to represent all of the world's religious faiths. Now, this is a beautifully constructed building, and it's at the point of what looks to be a phoenix. Here's an aerial view. Everything in this city is futuristic. It's all kind of like symbolic looking. Across from it is the presidential palace, and there's more kind of like symbolic stuff. I can't say what that looks like, but it's all very futuristic. What's interesting is at the very top of the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation is a boardroom that has, guess how many seats? 200 seats. Could this be where the leaders of our world meet? Here's the inside of it. It is really odd to me if you really sit back and think about, the fact that Satan does run our world, and it's real that fallen angels run our world. I mean, it is a real thing that demons take physical form and rule our world, and to be looking at, a place where they might all sit and meet, it is kind of creepy. It's beautiful though. Satan disguises himself as an angel of light.
Ladies and gents, make sure that you watch this video until the end, because this is important for both. But ladies, I'm getting a lot of messages, people asking me, women asking me, what is a good way to trap a man? And one of the ways to trap a man is through your menstrual blood. I know this sounds disgusting. I know many people are going to say, yo, this is gross, but this is what it is. You have many women that are out there, serving their menstrual blood when it comes to doing spaghettis, when they're making spaghettis, and when they are actually, put it in red wine and put it in their food. So this is a good way for you to trap that man, or for have that man not leave you forever. You know what I'm saying? I know of many situations. So if you want a spell that is going to help you with that, that's it. And also, fellas, be careful of where you eat. Don't eat from nobody. You know what I'm saying? Do not eat from no women, because you don't know what their intentions really are. And we're in the age that everything is possible. So just be careful.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm going to tell you something. If you got to take beads, herbs, a rabbit's paw, and a puppy's ear, and you got to brew it in a pot and chant over it to get somebody to fall in love with you, then baby, you're trying to put somebody under spell, but you're the one that's under a spell. I'm going to tell you something. When you're that obsessed with somebody to where you can't have them fall in love with you naturally, you got to put them under a black magic spell or a voodoo spell to get them to fall in love with you. That's given obsessed. And it might be you that's under a spell, so you might want to go talk to a voodoo priestess and make sure ain't nobody hexed or cursed your ass. Because that's weird. That's weird work. When you got to work that, when you got to... If I got to put somebody under a dark magic spell to get them to fall in love with me, I don't want them. They not the person for me, because I shouldn't have to work that hard. I'm high vibrations and I'm pressure. So if I got to do all that, you ain't for me. So you might want to go get checked if you got to do all that to make somebody fall in love with you. Go get checked. Have a voodoo priestess check you out to make sure you ain't under a curse.
So they're literally showing us that they do black magic. That's what this symbol represents. It's nothing to do with the Jews in this context. It's much deeper. So in black magic, there's something called a hex spell. A hex spell is to bring a curse, bad luck, or blockages onto someone. A hex spell is not something you cast with a wand. Harry Potter was made to cover up the truth about magic. It's nothing to do with casting spells with wands. A spell is a belief that controls you without you even realizing it. And that's what money is. Money doesn't exist. It's a piece of paper with numbers on it. Because our minds have been brainwashed, conditioned to believe and give it so much power, it controls every action of our lives. That's the hex. That's the spell.
We have to break the spell by all coming to an agreement that this has no value. Then we break the spell.
He's trying to kill himself. He shoots himself. Eminem's like, okay, I'm still alive. The demon says, so am I too. You can't kill a spirit even if you try to. All right, now this is where I'm going to play the part for you to hear the voice because it is freaking scary. The demon is telling you he sold his soul. Eminem is letting you know that he literally sold his soul to this demon to get to where he is. Here he's about to explain what happened and why he sold his soul. He said, you remember that night you prayed to God. You'd give anything to get a record deal when Dre signed you. This is what you wanted your whole life, Marshall, right through? Look at this house. Look at these cars. They're so nice. Woo. Oh, but you don't know fame has a price too. That you're just now seeing that downside too. Eminem was praying to God, praying for his dreams, pleading that God would answer his prayers. I've heard this a few times now where people have prayed to God and the devil showed up, a demon showed up and said, I will give you everything and anything you want if you just sign this contract. They signed the contract unknowingly, sometimes knowingly, knowing what they're doing, giving their soul over, giving demons and the devil access to their body, their minds, and their souls for them to possess, for them to give them this success, which really isn't success. It's just momentary gain. And then it goes and he says, lose your best friend from high school, your wife too, ain't even sure if your kids like you, come off tour, can't even sleep at night without NyQuil, become a Valium addict, start a rehab cycle, but together we can break this cycle, Marshall. And Marshall says, what? No one's gonna love you like I do. The demon is once again enticing him with worldly riches and worldly gain, trying to get him to turn back to the life that he used to have and trying to get him and keep him held bound and held captive to them being one, because the demon has no vessel without Slim Shady. That's the end of the song. It goes on to repeat the chorus, and yeah, Eminem sold his soul to get to where he is, to get everything that he has. He admitted it, just like every other celebrity. They have to tell you. The demons have to tell you their plans. They have to tell you what is going on. Many of you miss it because it goes over your heads. They know that many of you will not believe it. You'll think that it's just art, or it's just rhetorical, or it's just symbolic and it's not real. They didn't actually sell their soul, and there is no demons, and there's no this, and blah blah blah. No, demons are real. These celebrities, these influencers, these actors, actresses, singers, whatever you want to call them, all these people, they all know. They're all in cahoots with each other. They all know about these things. They all know what these celebrities have done to get to where they are. And so, as I always say, just stay diligent, stay aware. Like, stop supporting these artists, stop supporting these demons, because you're not supporting these artists, you're supporting these demons. And I also wanted to mention, if you've noticed in Eminem's songs, he has different voices and dialects in his songs, and he sings and raps in these different voices. And now I always wonder, is it the demon? Because I'm like, how did you come up with that? Like, how did you come up with these different voices that you're singing in, and all these rapping and all this stuff? But it's these demons. These demons are talented. Like, they have been here for centuries, and they know things. So just stay diligent, stay aware, and keep your eyes peeled, and start listening to true Christian worship music, y'all. Get away from the secular stuff. Be safe.
What if I told you we can control weather and make it rain on demand? Let me show you how. Storms are created through a process called cloud seeding. This is a process where scientists use chemicals like potassium iodide, silver iodide, or dry ice to create rain. Airplanes spread these tiny chemicals through the sky where they act like condensation nuclei. Basically, they give water droplets in the clouds something to stick to and form raindrops. Cloud seeding is used all over the US, especially in states suffering from drought and needing extra water for crops. What's interesting is that cloud seeding was used in the 2008 Beijing Olympics to clear up rainstorms before the event. While cloud seeding helps bring rain, it's not always guaranteed to work. And there's a debate whether humans should manipulate the weather, the long-term effects on the environment, and even if cloud seeding harms our own health.
Winter, bro, is not even real, man. You feel me? It's not even real. That's not even a real, bro. Winter is not a real season. It's from they asses putting winter technology. You have to understand, they have literal technology that creates clouds, bro, of snow clouds that literally put snow on the earth, that make rain, that make tornadoes, that make goddamn hurricanes. Get your Hurricane Katrina mouth fast. So they make everything, bro. You have to understand this, my males and my females.
Better stop listening to Tyler the Creator. He's a devil worshiper, literally, and I'm gonna show you pictures as well. Y'all want to listen to him? Look what he got on, man. Come on now, wake up, man. It's all in y'all face. Look at his 2011 album called Goblin. He got an upside down cross on his forehead and his eyes is black. Y'all need to stop listening to this secular music, man. It's all in our face. The devil plays in our face every single day. It's a reason why God say don't listen to secular music. If you sit still and let God into your life, you will see why. This is why. And if y'all don't believe me, here it go right here. Wake up, man. Lock in. It's 2025 and y'all still listening to these people that worship demonic things. You over here listening to somebody that worship the devil. You going to hell right with them because you want to follow in their steps. Wake up, man.
There's a story about the Santa Muerte, right? There was this lady, her name was Teresa, and she was in jail. She had committed some crimes and shit like that, bro. And she wanted to get the fuck out of jail, bro, because she had to be in there 60 plus years. So out of nowhere, her friends from the outside bring her this big ass box, and inside this big ass box
Was the Muerte statue?
Exactly. So this whole time, like, she would pray to La Muerte every single day, like, yo, like, I'm trying to be free, I'm trying to be free. Give blood, literally, like, cut herself. Until one day, she said it out loud, bro.
What the fuck
She
did?
heard, she was like, can you just set me free already? I did everything for you. I prayed for you every day. I gave you my blood. If you want, you can take my soul. And I want to be free, though.
Oh my gosh.
And they do say that whenever you promise something to La Muerte, bro,
You have to do it, yeah.
you have to do it, bro.
Yeah.
She's gonna give you what you want, but you have to come through with your side of the deal as well. So next thing you know, a guy with a nice ass suit comes and says you're free. She signs her freedom papers, whatever. Weeks later, it turns out that a woman was found mutilated, badly hurt and stuff, and the murderer and shit ended up going to the jail that she went to, and he ended up saying that Teresa was the one who was brutally mutilated and murdered, bro.
I kind of saw it coming because he said that, all right, I'll give you my soul.
And then also the legend about La Muerte, right? Basically, God, he sent down for it.
She is waiting for the train, but the snow falling down is not normal. She starts looking around, but the creepy part is, this is a fully enclosed station. Whatever is falling from the ceiling is definitely not snow. She pulls out her phone to record it, but the staff immediately stops her. They order her to delete the video right now! So, what exactly are they trying to hide?
This girl's going viral for something no one can explain because she claims this is her first time ever being inside a human body. And at first people thought she was joking, but the more they watched, the more disturbing it became. The way she stares, the way she smiles, even her eyes feel completely unnatural. She says she feels like she doesn't belong on this planet, and while some think she's only doing it for attention, others are convinced there's something seriously wrong with her and that she might not be human at all.
So this is the case of Dr. Death.
Dr. Death?
The only reason why he got caught was because he got messy. His name was Dr. Harold Shipman. He was even in a documentary for BBC about like taking care of the human body, being a good doctor and stuff like that. And he ended up opening Shipman's medical practice, which is his own medical practice, right? But he also had a weirdly high percentage of deaths in his patients.
How much?
A total of 215 confirmed killings. Every single death that he would write down, the way that they would die is that he walked in on them dead, or that he left to go get something from his car
and they're dead.
So it was always this abrupt death until one time Kathleen Grundy, she wasn't really like sick or anything like that, but obviously she was old, so she was getting taken care of by Dr. Harold Shipman. He put in the death certificate, died of old age. Also, what basically just f***ed everything up, and why he got sloppy, out of nowhere, Kathleen Grundy's will comes out saying, my family isn't in need. I want to leave all my estate to the doctor.
That makes no sense. What the f***?
And when you have a will, you have to have witnesses sign to make sure that this statement is legit. The daughter ends up going to the witnesses to see if they actually signed. Turns out
none of them signed.
That's when the cops finally arrested him after they ended up doing a analysis on her body, an actual autopsy. Because what he would do is he wouldn't get autopsies on the bodies. He would just write that they died of old age, and then instead of telling the family members, yo, we should get an autopsy of why they died, they would just send them to the morgue to get cremated.
Damn, so this motherfucker was like already on this shit. What the fuck?
Basically, they determined that Kathleen Grundy had died of overdose of morphine. They ended up doing like...
One of the most flat earth type conspiracy theories in the JFK assassination is the claim that the driver of JFK's limousine turned around and fired the fatal headshot at Kennedy. And I hate to say it, that ludicrous conspiracy theory is based entirely on this image right here. This is taken from the Zapruder film, and it is 1/18 of a second before the tragic fatal headshot to JFK. Let's zoom in. First, we have Kennedy and Jackie in the back of the limousine, after Kennedy has already been hit in the back and the neck by the second shot. Next, we have John Connally and his wife Nellie, who are sitting just in front of the president and Jackie Kennedy. And then we have the driver of the limousine, a Secret Service agent by the name of William Greer, and the front passenger, also a Secret Service agent by the name of Roy Kellerman. The driver did it conspiracy theorists claim that this portion right here is not the glare of the sun off of Roy Kellerman's hair, but is actually a handgun that Agent Greer, the driver, is turning around and firing with his left hand over his right shoulder at Kennedy. And he's not firing a bullet, he's firing a poison dart that lodges in Kennedy's neck, or apparently somewhere in Kennedy's head. You will hear both from the driver did it theorists. But the problem for their theory is that really is just the sun off of Roy Kellerman's head, not a metal glare off of a handgun. And you see Agent Greer's left hand still on the steering wheel. So please, I beg of you, do not perpetuate the ludicrous claim that the driver did it. And if you do perpetuate that claim, stop and ask yourself, is it really defensible?
Scary Facts You Didn't Know, Part 55. This picture was taken during a traffic stop involving Luis Fernando Ceballos and Alexis Rodriguez while they were driving home from what was reportedly their first date. Police stopped the car for speeding and let them go with only a warning. Minutes later, officers arrived at a horrific crash scene and realized it was the same vehicle. The car had slammed into a tractor trailer with such force that the roof was completely torn off, killing both of them almost instantly. After a drunk driver crashed head-on into her car in 1999, Jacqueline Sabarito became trapped inside as the vehicle exploded into flames. By the time rescuers pulled her free, severe burns had destroyed most of her face and body. She survived after years of painful surgeries and later appeared in anti-drunk driving campaigns using real photos of her injuries, showing how a single reckless decision changed her life forever. In 1986, a massive pocket of carbon dioxide suddenly burst from Lake Nyos in Cameroon, creating an invisible cloud that raced through nearby villages at night. Because the gas was heavier than air, it hugged the ground and silently pushed oxygen out of homes as families slept. People collapsed within seconds without understanding what was happening, while animals died beside them in the streets and fields. By sunrise, entire villages were completely silent. Survivors woke up surrounded by bodies, with many victims found exactly where they had been moments earlier, sitting at dinner tables, lying in bed, or holding children. More than 1,700 people died in a single night, and some survivors were left unconscious for days before discovering almost everyone around them was gone.
Is this gonna be our generation's JFK conspiracy theory? Because when did you find out they paved over the area where Charlie Kirk got shot just 5 days after it happened? Or what Google search terms were trending in the White House region just a few days before alleged gunner Tyler Robinson is said to have sniped Kirk from a rooftop about 200 yards away, with initial claims stating the company behind the paving job was Precision Granite and Marble LLC, owned by Matt Robinson, Tyler Robinson's dad. Now, later reports interjected, claiming the official contractor remains undisclosed, and somehow no one really knows who was actually behind the job. But still, why pour cement and bricks all over the crime scene of such a high-profile incident just a few days later? Which they did on a Sunday, just the most rushed and spontaneous paving contract you could ever imagine. Oh, because they claim it was part of a routine post-incident restoration and safety cleanup after investigators had finished processing the scene. Restoration and safety cleanup by permanently paving over the site with bricks? Right, I'm sure that's exactly what it was. Just like how searches for Tyler James Robinson, the full name of the main suspect behind the shooting, skyrocketed on September 12th when the police caught him. Which makes sense, everyone wanted to know who he was and were looking him up. But if you go back just a little bit on Google Trends, we see a small spike for this very specific name on September 9th. the day before it happened. And zooming in, we see that search spike just so happens to come out of the Washington, D.C. region, where, you know, the US government operates from. Kinda weird, don't you think? I'm sure it's nothing, but it doesn't end there. Because searches for the term Losi Center, which is the name of the campus building that Tyler shot from, also sees a totally random spike in search activity on September 8th. 2 days before it happened out of, you guessed it, the DC area. And again, we see the huge surge here after the rest of us found out where it happened. Or the search term Mauser 98, a fairly obscure vintage German bolt-action rifle from World War II that happened to be Robinson's very specific weapon of choice for the job, saw its own nothing to see here spike in search volume on August 27th, exactly 2 weeks before the incident. Once again from the capital DC region of the United States. Not implying anything here, just showing you the Carfax. As a matter of fact, you can even look this up yourself to confirm. This is publicly available data on Google Trends after all. Oh wait, never mind, you actually can't, because when you search those terms within those time windows now, the data is gone. So now we get a divide. The conspiracy theorists are going to claim the government and Google is scrubbing the search data from the internet, rewriting reality, making it seem like it was never there to begin with, Ministry of Truth style, 6 feet under. And the debunkers are just going to insist the search data was never even there in the first place, that all these images posted by multiple different accounts online are all fake and edited to spread a false narrative, even though we have people coming out with new video angles of the incident, saying the FBI is reaching out and telling them to delete the footage from their phones because it might trigger PTSD. And Judge Tony Graff, appointed to this case, issued a sweeping gag order restricting attorneys, law enforcement, and the over 3,000 plus witnesses at the event from making any public statements about the incident. Oh, and also stated that no cameras are allowed in the courtroom during this public trial. But you know, they're definitely not trying to hide anything here. These are all just silly little coincidences, business as usual, and none of this is real. Which honestly, at this point, we can never actually know what even is real anymore.
The government released documents telling you how the world is going to end. It's a CIA document called the Adam and Eve story, and it's basically saying how about every 12 to 15,000 years, the magnetic poles on the Earth flip, and it causes chaos. And that we're actually the sixth civilization to exist, and that the last one was about 10,000 BC. We're close in the next period of time. We're very close to the next apocalypse coming up. People think that one of the last ones was the flood. And that's the reason why there's these stories across all these different continents and countries and religions just about a giant flood. And there have been some that speculate that when this happens, that the earth actually holds still, and if the earth stops moving, but all the wind, the waves, everything, it just keeps on moving and going, it's like gonna destroy. There's no truth to it. Why classify it? Why are you scared for the public to know?